as well. She is an attention seeker, but I'll tell you a bit more about her in a minute. Now, whilst I'm talking to you about the penguins, we've got Amanda over here. Amanda's one of the bird keepers, and she's going to be feeding the penguins while I'm telling you a little bit about them. So I want you all to make Amanda feel extremely welcome and say, "Hi, Amanda!"
Hi, Amanda.
Amanda, give them a wave. Oh, she loves that. Okay, guys, so first things first. Who here can shout out and tell me what part of the world penguins come from? Antarctica. That is a very, very good answer. Now, there are 18 different types of penguin, but believe it or not, only 2 of them actually come from Antarctica. They're the Adelie penguins, which are a little bit bigger than ours, and the emperor penguins, which you might have heard of. They're very big. They can actually be up to 4.5 feet tall, which is absolutely huge for a penguin. But our penguins aren't from Antarctica. Does anyone know where our penguins are from? Africa. Well done. Here at the zoo, we have got 40 penguins. 37 of them are black-footed penguins. They're the ones down here with the black feet. They're indeed from South Africa, and they are sometimes known as jackass penguins, because when they communicate, they sound a little bit like a donkey. But they're not the only penguins we've got here. We've also got another type of penguin. There's 3 of them. Can you spot the ones that look a little bit different from the others? Yeah. We've got 3 rockhopper penguins. We have got Roxy, Ruby and Milo. The one up on the rock at the moment is just hopping around. That's Roxy. The one down on the end there by Amanda on the ledge of the pool, that's Milo. And down next to me we've got Ruby. Rockhopper penguins are from the Falkland Islands. And as you saw Roxy demonstrate a minute ago, they are very, very good at jumping up onto rocks. Now Roxy is a little bit famous in the penguin world. Ruby gets a bit jealous sometimes. They do like to make themselves known as well. Roxy being the one that's closest to Amanda there. She is from Whipsnade. Some of you might have heard of Whipsnade. That's our sister zoo. And while Roxy was over there, she was a little bit cheeky. And what she used to do is she used to peck at some of the other penguins' eggs, which they didn't like. So she didn't have too many penguin friends. So the guys over at Whipsnade sent her down here to London to see if she'd behave a little bit better. And I am very pleased to say she has been on her best behaviour, which is why we got her 2 companions, Milo and little Ruby, down here. Now, you'll see that Amanda's feeding the penguins a small type of fish. That's what they have here at the zoo, and it's a special type of fish called capelin. Yes, they're small, and it's their favourite. Hi, Grotty, how are you? She's not interested in fish, she's interested in my shoes. They love capelin, and you'll see that Amanda's feeding the penguins in 2 ways. One of the ways she's feeding them is by throwing the fish into the pool. Now this is very, very important, because by doing that, what she's doing is encouraging the penguins' natural behaviours. So she's getting them to swim around and look for their food, just like they would do out in the wild. But she's also hand feeding as well, and hand feeding can be quite important at this time of year. Especially if we've got any penguins that have got babies, because we have at the moment, in fact we've got 3 babies, so we need to make sure their parents get extra fish, because then what they'll do is they go back and they regurgitate their food to feed their babies. So that's very important that we do that. And another reason for hand feeding is that sometimes we have some penguins that are on medication, so we need to make sure they get extra fish as well and make sure they're eating properly. So hand feeding is very important as well, and it's very important that the penguins feel comfortable with Amanda being there hand feeding. Now obviously, in the wild, they wouldn't have a lovely person like Amanda to come and feed them fresh fish every day. So what they'd have to do is they'd have to go out into the sea and they have to look for the food themselves. And they are very, very, very good swimmers, and they've got special adaptations on their bodies that help them with this, which I'll tell you a little bit about now. Now penguins aren't flying birds. Birds that fly, like pigeons, herons, birds like that, they all have hollow bones, so they're a lot lighter and it's a lot easier for them to fly. As penguins aren't flying birds, they have solid bones, just like we do, so they're a lot heavier, and it's a lot easier for them to sink down into the water to catch their prey. Also, all their feathers are completely waterproof, which is a bonus if your life is in the sea, and they actually grow a new set of feathers every single year, which I think is pretty cool. Also, when they're in the water, you see that their bodies are shaped a bit like a torpedo, and that helps them when they're gliding through the water, and their feet come in really handy as well. Now if you have a look at the ones that are out on the land at the moment, you see that their feet are quite far back from their body and they waddle a little bit when they walk and they do look a little bit funny. But their feet come in very handy when they're in the water and they actually use their feet to steer where they're going, which I think is pretty cool.